Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Raymond Chan Liang, and today we are going to have a look at this topic called In Front of the Red Sea. Okay, so why do I choose this topic to share at the end of year 2023? Okay, so actually time passed by very quickly. We are now at the end of the year already, and then I believe a lot of us, we are preparing, okay, for the following year, which is year 2024. So I believe that the following year, okay, is going to be a year that's full of challenge also, just like the Israelites before the Red Sea. So I believe this topic is very relatable to all of us. Okay, so let's learn from this incident from the Bible in front of the Red Sea. So all of us also, I think most of us are quite familiar with this story. Okay, so we know that the Israelites, okay, God saved them out from Egypt, and right now they actually arrived at the Red Sea. But suddenly, they saw the Egyptians' army actually and Pharaoh chasing after them. So imagine if you are one of the Israelites over there, how would you feel, okay, when you saw this scene? Suddenly Pharaoh and his armies are coming after us, and then we are in front of the Red Sea. There's nothing that we can do, right? Okay, so I believe many of us, we may have these emotions, very disappointed, or maybe very worried or very angry. Why are we even here? You know, why did God you bring me to this place? Okay, so many of us may ask, God, are you giving me a false hope? In our life, it's also the same, right? A lot of times, we are just like this scenario. We are in front of the Red Sea, and then Pharaoh's army is chasing us behind. So we may ask the same question, God, are you giving me a false hope? Okay, let's have a look at Exodus chapter 14, verse 21 to 22. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and all that night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind and turned it into dry land. The waters were divided, and the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground with a wall of water on their right and on their left. Okay, so when the Israelites were in front of the Red Sea, thinking that they lose all their hope, actually God prepared a way for them. God is the way maker for them. God asked Moses to stretch out his hand over the sea, and very amazingly, okay, we can see that the waters of the sea were divided into two. So we are like the Israelites. We face the Red Sea and Pharaoh's armies in our life, just like what we have shared just now. Okay, so actually throughout this story, there are 4 lessons that we can learn from this. So let's look at it one by one. Firstly, God hears our cry. So we can see that from this incident, when the Israelites, they were blaming and then they were crying out to the Lord, okay, God actually hears their cry, right? In fact, Psalms 34 verse 17 says this, the righteous cry out and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. So dear brothers and sisters in Christ, many of times when we face problems in our life, do we cry out to the Lord? Do we seek help from Him? God hears our cry. This is what we should always remember. When you are alone in your room, when you feel hopeless, please remember, dear brothers and sisters in Christ, God hears your cry. Okay, next, the second lesson that we can learn from this incident is that we should trust God in our deepest valley. So what is the meaning of trusting? Trusting refers to putting all your faith in God. Okay, so over here, a question for all of us to reflect. Okay, what if Moses didn't pull his stuff and doubt what God says? What do you think will happen after that? Okay, so this one, all of us can like reflect a bit, okay, but one thing for sure we can see that and we can know is that Moses obeyed and trust in the Lord. After the Lord asked him to stretch out his hand, he obeyed the Lord. He trusted in the Lord and do so, and we can see that the sea were departed, right? So similarly, God actually wants us to trust Him, even though we may not know what is in front. Just imagine if you are Moses at that time. Do you trust God? Do you obey what God has to say for you? Do you obey what the Lord command is? You know, this actually reminds me of an incident in the New Testament, okay, where Jesus caused Peter to walk on water. So actually a lot of time, Jesus is also calling us to step out of our comfort zone. Are we willing to step out just like Peter stepping out of the boat, okay, and walking on water? That's something for all of us to reflect upon. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 to 6 says this: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him and He will make straight your path." So Proverbs over here remind all of us that we should do what? We should trust in the Lord with all our heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Okay, dear brothers and sisters in Christ, we are all human, we are all limited beings. But God is unlimited. He knows what will happen in the future. And in fact, He's the creator of the whole universe. So we should always trust in Him, okay? And do not lean in our own understanding. Okay, so a lot of times in our life, we may face problems like this. We may feel depressed, we may feel very sad, we may feel very tired, and many other things. Okay, so dear brothers and sisters in Christ, are you trusting Him in these times? Are you trusting Him in your darkest valley? That's something that all of us should reflect upon. Okay, the third lesson to learn from this incident is that God is the way maker. So we can see that God made a way for the Israelites right in front of the Red Sea. Exodus chapter 14 verse 14, "The Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still." Okay, so actually, do you know that God made a way for the Israelites? Okay, of course we can see that God departed the Red Sea for them, right? But do you know that actually God worked things behind where the Israelites didn't see? We can see that in Exodus chapter 14 verse 24, "During the last watch of the night, the Lord looked down from the pillar of fire and cloud at the Egyptian army and threw it into confusion." So before the Israelites, God departed the Red Sea for them. At the back, actually God also sent down the pillar of fire and cloud so that the Egyptian armies will get confused, so that they wouldn't reach the Red Sea so quickly, right? So we can see that God actually protected the Israelites. So a lot of times in our life, it's also the same, okay? God is working. It's just that sometimes maybe we didn't notice it, alright? Okay, so dear brothers in Christ, right here, I just want all of us, okay, let's all remember that this God who made a way for the Israelites is also the same God that we trust right now. So, do you trust that God can do miracles in your life? That's something all of us should reflect upon. God can perform miracles even today in your life, in my life. Alright? So, the problem is not whether He can do it, but do you believe in Him and do you trust in Him through your deepest valley when you face challenges? Okay, the last lesson, which is the fourth point that we can learn from this incident, is that God is there by our side when we are in troubles. Okay, many times we may have this complaint: "God, why did you leave me? Why am I facing this problem? Why do I have to deal with all these people?" and so on and so forth. Okay, in more Asian slang, maybe we will say, "Ayah, very bad tahan." Okay, so I believe the Israelites may ask this also when they are in front of the Red Sea: "God, where are you?" Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, Psalms 23 verse 4 reminds us, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Okay, so we can see that Psalms 23 reminds us that even though we are in the darkest valley, we fear no evil because God is by our side. Okay, "For you are with me," the verse says like this. Okay, "and your rod and your staff, they comfort me." So dear brothers and sisters in Christ, when we are walking through the darkest valley, when we are facing problems in our life, when we lose hope, okay, please, dear brothers and sisters in Christ, let's all remember that God is always by our side and we do not need to fear no evil because He is always there with us, walking with us. Matthew chapter 18 verse 20, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them." Actually, Jesus is very near to us. Jesus is very dear to us, dear brothers and sisters in Christ. Some of us, we may say that, why do I still feel that, God is so far away? I mean, I'm a Christian, but I do not really feel that God is here by my side. Okay, sometimes we may have this question in mind. But the question that we should ask is that, did you welcome Jesus into your life to be your God, to be your Lord? Okay? So Revelation chapter 3 verse 20 says this, "Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and open the door, I will come in and eat with that person and they with me." Dear brothers in Christ, this is what Jesus said to his church. Okay, his church, the Christian. Many times, even us as Christians, we do not welcome Jesus into our life. Okay, but are we willing to respond to Jesus' calling when he calls us? Are we willing to open the door for Jesus to come inside our heart? Okay, when Jesus is knocking at our door. Okay, so many of us are like this, including Christians. We reject Jesus. We say that, "Jesus, you stand outside the door, then that's enough already." Okay, Satan wants you and I to continue to stay this way. The plan of the devil is to let us continue to be lukewarm Christian, thinking that God is not someone important in our life. So we shouldn't obey what the Satan wants us to do. In fact, we should always welcome Jesus into our life, welcome him into our heart. Okay, so a person actually reminded me this. Okay, so please allow me to share with you this quote. "You cannot change what has already happened, but you can change what will happen in the future." Okay, so no matter who you are, or no matter how your past is like, that's not important. The more important thing is that you need to change your old self. You need to be a new creation in Christ. So, dear brothers and sisters in Christ, today Jesus is calling you back home. How long have you not prayed? How long have you not witnessed his greatness? How long have you continued to live in your sin? This is something all of us should always reflect upon. Okay, if you have gone astray, Jesus is calling you back home today. Are you willing to respond to his calling? Are you willing to welcome him into your life so that he can change your life? And do you trust that he is the way maker? Just like the Israelites in front of the Red Sea, God actually made a way for them. And this God who made a way for the Israelites is also the same God that we believe today. And I'm confident that he will make a way for you and I through our darkest valley as well, because he is there by our side. Okay, thank you so much, dear brothers and sisters in Christ, for watching this video. Hopefully this video is helpful for all of you. And if you feel that this video is helpful in any ways, please like, share and subscribe. And also, please leave a comment down below, and maybe you can share what you have learned in this video. Thank you guys. Okay, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.